Hi, everybody.
Hello, I'm Ryan.
I'm Bethany.
And we are Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews.
He started saying that different every single time we start, and I never know what's going to happen or how he's going to introduce us. I don't know what's happening until we press record. So you're just as surprised as I am whenever he says who we are. Every single time.
I say the same words every time.
It's the same words. The occasions are different. Sometimes she'll sing all sorts of stuff. It's like, it is a surprise for me. So when you heard that for the first time, I also heard that for the first time.
It's not that big a deal.
It's a big deal. Throws me off. Not really. Anyway, today we'll be talking about Exit Catan. This is designed by Inka and Marcus Brand, and it is published by Cosmos.
All right, so Adventures on Catan. This is an escape room style game, an escape room puzzle style game, but all in the world of the very famous board game Catan, or Settlers of Catan, if you're more familiar with the old school wording. I think it's a brilliant pairing because the Exit games have been wildly popular. Catan, wildly popular. Putting them together is like peanut butter and jelly. But you wouldn't think of that at first, right? You're not thinking like, it's a Euro-style game mixed with all these kind of puzzle things. How are they going to pull that off? Well, let me tell you. They pulled it off pretty well. There is a ton of tie-ins from the game in this game as well. So they pulled from the source material to make sure that as fans we really appreciated that. You're going through these missions, trying to eventually solve the final puzzle and figure out the whole thing all together. And once you've done that, you have won. Again, this, like all Exit games, is a full cooperative experience. It says 1 to 4 on the box, and we'll get more into that later. And it plays in about 1 to 2 hours, depending on how quick you are at solving these puzzles.
So, do you want to feel really smart or do you want to feel really stupid? That's how long it's going to take you to play. So, I do have to say, I've played, I don't know, in between 6 to 10 different Exit games, and I'm still surprised that they come up with different and unique puzzles every single time. Like, you think you've seen everything and then you haven't seen everything. And that's no different with Exit Catan. There were still unique puzzles in here that weren't related to any of the other puzzles that we've done before. And I just like that you're still exploring this. You just have a box with components and you're still doing all this stuff with that. So I like that there were still these interesting puzzles that were a part of this one.
We've been playing Catan for long time. We've played some expansions. We've played other offshoots as well. So we're pretty familiar with that world, and we were kind of excited to see how they did that, how they paired that together. And it was really fun to see. Okay, so now you've landed on this island, and now what you're going to do? You have to build these, roads. Which, by the way, no spoilers. I'm not going to tell you any spoilers, but I'll just in general tell you right out of the gate. There's going to be roads, and that's a big part of the main game. You start off with a settlement, things like that. I'll give you one small spoiler that let's say the robber shows up. We'll just kind of pull that in, but it's not what you think.
It's not what you think.
And so all these little things like that just kind of endear you to that world are here right away again, but kind of personified, less abstracted like it is in the Euro board game. Now you actually kind of get to see it with some narrative fleshed out as well, which is kind of exciting to see.
Yeah, there's also characters in this game. So you get that right from the get-go. There's all these characters, and all of these characters want different resources. Like, in Catan, when you want to trade some, lumber so they can build something, like, you have the ability to do that. That was such a fun little thing. These characters that are going along, it helps build the story of what's happening, and sometimes you actually need to do that in order for the story to continue. So I thought that was really fun that there was these just these characters. Like I said, there's different things in this Exit that I hadn't seen yet before, and this was one of them. Definitely having these characters a part of it where you have to pay themselves so they can help you in the game. So that was really fun.
I think that it's cool how the whole arc of the game happens. You kind of are doing these individual puzzles, and you're treating it as individual puzzles, not realizing that it's all kind of part of one big story arc. Well, the story is one arc, but you're still kind of seeing it as one individual little puzzles within that. But once you get towards the end, you've realized that you're going to have other pieces from other puzzles and other kind of components that you were touching earlier. You're going to retouch again and use in another different way this time. And it's one big thing that you've been kind of building towards the entire time. You use at the final mission, so you didn't even realize you kind of slowly building up to this final moment in the game, which I thought was a really cool way to kind of put a finale on the whole thing. Individual puzzles, sure, but kind of growing and building off of one another and including one another as the game went on especially with that final puzzle. That was really cool the way they pulled that off.
Yeah.
I'll leave you to explore what that is on your own, but just know that it's going to be very satisfying to you.
I do have to say, if you're a fan of the original Catan, or even if it brings back memories, maybe you played it when you first started gaming and you don't really play it anymore, I think you're going to like all the references that are thrown into that and all the throwbacks that are thrown into this. You're really going to enjoy that. It's going to be, I don't know, it was fun for us to enjoy, to see that, all the little things that came up. The box says 1 to 4. I think it works great at 2. You can play it with 4 because that's what the box says, but there's just almost too many people going on at that point. I think that most of these games work best at 2, almost like a date night type of thing. I think they work really well in that setting.
Yeah, I think that it's cool when 4 people with 4 different, the way their minds think 4 different ways, that's can be helpful. But as far as the actual handling of the components, it's like only 1 or 2 people can do that at a time anyway, so everybody else is kind of just sitting out and like trying to look over someone's shoulder or whatever. So yeah, I see 4 minds is great, but 2 bodies is better.
Yes.
I think that this was true to Catan. This was true to Exit. I think that both worked really well together and in a way that I guess I wouldn't have anticipated, but it was really fun too. And as all things, almost every single one of these kind of escape room style games, there's always 1 or 2 puzzles that just I cannot like.
I can't go the direction that they're wanting me to go.
They have to be just a little bit abstract, a little bit kind of think outside the box, like thinking that just you're prepared for one kind of puzzle and you get a different kind of puzzle. It happens in all of these, and that was definitely true here as well. I don't like looking for the clue cards, but there's a couple where I was just like, this is getting like frustrating. I'm not enjoying this part of this process. I just need to look at what it is. And I'm sure for, the puzzle that we struggled with might not be the same puzzle that someone else struggled with, which is why maybe 4 players is kind of nice in that way. All that being said, just be aware that there is going to be some sticking points that are going to be more challenging based off of the way your thinking patterns are. But to bail you out, there are clue cards, as in all versions of Exit.
Yeah. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe so you can see our videos as they come out. Until then, you can find us in all of these places.
Yeah, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
You guys, thanks so much for watching. This game was provided to us by a publisher in exchange for a fair and honest review.
And if you want to see more stuff, check out over here to see something we think you might like.
And over here, we think that YouTube has picked out a great video for you you're going to love. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.